Good morning, everyone. Today I will go through question 2 to 4. So firstly, let's go through question 2 together. So the question is asking us to calculate the fuel rate, right? And then the question asks us to compare the two customer service performance for these two supplier in terms of fuel rate. So if we want to calculate fuel rate, let's firstly recall the formula for it. Fuel rate equals to 1 minus stock out rate. Where stock out rate can be calculated by the total stock out divided by total demand. Okay, so to calculate the fuel rate, we firstly need to calculate the total stock out. So in the table, we can see that there are two values that the table have already given us. The first one is the number, the quantity that ordered, and the second one is quantity that received. So the first one, quantity ordered, we regarded this value as the demand. So if we want to calculate the stock out, we need to use the quantity of ordered minus quantity of received. Then in this way, for supplier A, for different for each month, we can calculate the stock out by for January we have 48 minus 20, which equals to 28. And then for February, 50 minus 50, which equals to 0. And then for March, we use 61 minus 55, which equals to 6. And then April, we use 50 minus 11, which equals to 39. And then for May, we use 66 minus 60, which equals to 66. And then for June, we use 57 minus 55, which equals to 2. And then for supplier B, similarly, we can calculate the stock out for each month by using quantity of ordered minus quantity of received. So for January, we have 0 stock out. Similarly, for February, we also have 0 stock out. March, it also equals to 0. And April also equals to 0. May, 41 minus 41, which equals to 0. And June, we use 40 minus 0, which equals to 40. Then if we want to calculate the total stock for A, total stock out of A, then we need to add all these numbers together for the first column, which is 28 plus 0 plus 6 plus 39 plus 6 plus 2, which equals to 81. And then similarly, we can calculate the total stock out of supplier B, which equals to 0 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 40, which equals to 40. So, so far we have already calculated the total stockout for both suppliers. For next step, we need to calculate the total demand for both suppliers. And the total demand, just like we mentioned that, which equals to the summation of the first column for each supplier. For example, if we want to calculate the total demand for supplier A, then we need to calculate the summation of the first row here, which refers to the quantity ordered for all 6 months. And then similarly, we calculate the total demand for supplier B by adding all these 6 numbers in first row of supplier B. And then in this way, we can get our total demand for supplier A equals to 332. And then the total demand total demand for supplier B, which equals to 270. Then our third step is to calculate the fuel rate. So by using the formula here, we can calculate the fuel rate. So fuel rate of A equals to 1 minus total stockout of A, which is 81, divided by total demand, which equals to 332, which equals to 1 minus 0.24, which equals to 0.76. And for fuel rate of B, which can be calculated by 1 minus total stockout of B, which equals to 40, divided by total demand of B, which equals to 270, which equals to 1 minus 0.15, which equals to 0.85. So because the 85 is larger than 0.76, so the fuel rate of B is larger. Then we will say that the performance of supplier B is better than supplier A. Better customer service. All right. So that's all for question B. Then let's move to question 3. So for question 3, we need to calculate the cost incurred for holding these components in inventory. And there is a hint told us that we need to assume there are no safety stock carried for these components. And that the average inventory carried is the half of order quantity. So by this sentence, we can know that the average inventory carried equals to half of order quantity. which means the inventory, average inventory. Average inventory equals to half times the order quantity, which is 250 equals to 125. All right. So to calculate the cost incurred for holding, so which means we need to calculate the annual holding cost. Which equals to average inventory times unit holding cost. Right? And then for the average inventory, we have already calculated through using the order quantity. And then for the unit holding cost, we need to calculate it by using the components units cost and using the holding rate. So the holding cost should be equals to the unit cost times holding rate. Right? So this part, the unit holding cost should be 221 times 0.36, which equals to 79.56. Then after calculating the unit holding cost, we have all the value that we need to calculate the annual holding cost. Therefore, it should be equals to average inventory, which equals to 125 times unit holding cost, which equals to 79.56. This is equal to 99.45. Therefore, it is the cost incurred for holding for this component in the inventory. Is dollar per year. All right, that's all for question 3. And then for question 4, we have given that the mean and the coefficient of variability, CV, of a product's demand are 37 and 0.34. And the question asks us to calculate the demand standard deviation. So we recall the formula for coefficient of variability, which is CV equals to demand standard deviation divided by mean, demand mean, right? And then we have already been given that CV equals to 0.34, and the mean of the product demand, D hat, which equals to 37 units per month. So the demand standard deviation, SD here, equals to 0.34 times 37, which equals to 1258. So the answer here is 1258. And then this is the answer for question 4.